I'm Chris Green, Chief Editor of Tech Africa News. We're here at AfricaCom 2023, and I'm joined by Craig Bailey, VP of Sales for EMEA for SD Engineering, iDirect. Craig, welcome, it's good to see you.
Thank you very much, it's great to be here.
Good. What specifically brings you to AfricaCom 2023, and what key technologies or solutions are you showcasing here in the different areas, so satellite, IoT, defense and government?
Yeah, of course. So we have a legacy in Africa. We've always invested in having people on the ground, resources on the continent to make sure we're plugged in, hearing from customers, end users on demand, what market trends there are, and being at a show like this where everyone comes together from across the world. There's a real buzz, and you have to be here to hear from them. So that is really key for being at the show, and it's been true to the first day. Yesterday, there was endless meetings, new people, existing partners, all wanting to hear updates from us, wanting to give market feedback to us, which is crucial to our roadmaps and plans. And then also being able to see the suite of products we have on show. So yeah, we have a lot of technology on show today. We have a lot from the platforms that we have, from Dialog, Velocity, and Evolution. We have the remotes that cover across that portfolio, from the award-winning MCX 8000, which is our new broadcasting remote. We have the 5010, which is the very high-end, high-speed SEPC remote. We have 3315, which goes across the multi-personality, so you can operate it on Velocity, Evolution, and Dialog, which is crucial when you think about the investment into a remote. You can then use it across all those different platforms. You can switch between a Velocity network on a Intelsat or a Inmarsat and bring it back to your own network on a Dialog or Evolution network, which is amazing to our customers, and it's been an ask for a long time now, so it's great to deliver that. And then we have an IoT solution on stand as well. So that is a collaboration with HiSky. It's something that we've invested in as a company. We see the growth area in that market, and it's something that a lot of customers are wanting to hear about. So outside of that, we also have a Starlight terminal and some RF, some bucks from Agilis. So the Starlight terminal is a tri-band terminal. It can be used in a government or broadcast application. And we also have the bucks, which we are entering in the market through Agilis, and that's a new entry point for us.
That's good to hear. I mean, especially that you had a sort of good first day, because we're on the start of the second day here. Considering the interest in satellite IoT solution that you just mentioned, can existing SD Engineering iDirect customers seamlessly implement this technology?
Yeah, really good question. So something we try to do as a company is make sure the return of investment from our customers is always there. So we think about their investment first. If we're bringing a new solution to market, we want to make sure they can optimize what they've purchased previously, not having to buy separate channels, separate lines. So one of the key things when we invested in the IoT solution was to make sure it was integrated within our platforms, the existing platforms of Evolution, Velocity, and Dialog. And so any customer that currently has that platform can easily scale up to going onto IoT as part of that solution.
Okay, I mean that's definitely helping the customer without the additional cost that could potentially be involved. So, given the pivotal role of satellite technology in driving African connectivity, what insights can you give us regarding satellite adoption in Africa and the anticipated growth of this?
Yeah, so again, good question. The anticipated growth in Africa is one of those constant questions. Where's the growth going to come from? How are we actually going to accommodate for that growth and actually supply to the growth? There's a cost sensitivity in Africa, so around developing new technologies, we have to make sure we're optimizing those to get there. We talk about the rural connectivity in Africa, and I think you mentioned you started with Tech Africa in 2020 around the COVID pandemic. A lot of that went to work from home, and a lot of that work from home was in the rural location, ultra rural locations. And I think something about 60 to 80% of population in Africa is rural based, but only 6% of those have connectivity. And that's a big divide between those that are connected and those that aren't. We as a company, along with our partners that come into market, so especially with the GSPs like Eutelsat and the Avantis, they're pledging to connect the unconnected, and we have to support them with that, with optimized solutions that somehow get to the market. So one of the key things that we've done recently is come with a new ecosystem of over-the-top called Skyflow. And Skyflow, we've recently deployed in Peru. And it's connecting, again, a similar landscape, similar unconnected society, where they can actually connect into these rural locations. They can get content to homes, but also education. So Africa has a doubling population. The children don't have access to the digital side. They're coming out of it. They will have lack of digital skills. It's important that they have access to this. And working with our key partners to actually get them access and get them skilled up, there's going to be a heavy requirement for them to be skilled by 2030. And that's really a driver for us in those markets.
I think many people who know me know that basically connecting the unconnected in Africa is something I've pushed for years and been very keen about. So yeah, it's good to hear that sort of this is a priority and starting to happen. So with satellite tech identified as a key driver for African connectivity, could you shed light on the factors contributing to this demand from your perspective?
Yeah, so interestingly, there was a quote that I referenced about 10 years ago, in fact, actually. It talks about how Africa was not only mobile driven, but it was actually mobile centric. So every person in Africa, I think 8 out of 10 Africans have a mobile phone, and most of the connectivity is driven through a mobile phone. So cellular is a big factor when it comes to looking at connected. I think a lot of the dealings, so a lot of payments are made over cellular. So connectivity through those means are key. Terrestrial doesn't expand all the way into those rural locations. So the only way to really connect it is through satellite. So we have to be there as part of the solution, but it's not the only solution. We have to be part of the ecosystem of different solutions, be it microwave, be it the traditional terrestrial. And we have to be there where it makes sense for us. And rapidly moving into the 5G and looking, it's a big progression into that realm from 3G, 4G for Africa. But the only way to really get it out to those rural locations in a swift manner is through satellite. And that's where we really come into the picture as part of that system, working with the MNOs to those rural locations to get them connected quicker. And now, really, 5G. And then looking forward, we're looking at the 5G standards. So where it really comes into sense is we as a company, we're building on those 5G standards and looking at how in the future, really it's a seamless operation in the 5G realm.
Basically, with all the information you've sort of given Craig there, I mean, you've more or less answered what was going to be my next question, which is ST Engineering's sort of contributions to this. I mean, it's clear that you as a company are very committed to this, which is sort of good to hear. So it's a really sort of last question I've got for today is, as a leader in the digital transformation of the ground segment and a contributor to the evolution of the satellite industry, how is ST Engineering iDirect's shaping the future of the company, and what innovations can we expect in the coming years?
Yeah, brilliant question. So it's what everyone wants to hear, right? Virtualization is the big thing that's on everyone's mind. How do you optimize the ground segment? How do you make it more cost effective, reduce those barriers to entry, and especially coming into a continent like Africa, where the price point has to be lower, you have to get the operational demand lower because there's a lack of skilled personnel potentially, and then quick deployment. How do you actually get it out and into a quick deployment? Because again, locations in Africa are hard to get to. So virtualization on the remote side is a constant driver, but also on the teleport side. Getting that virtualization piece is key to the development moving forward. And it's a standard that needs to be there to really get us part of the proper telco ecosystem. And that's where we're driving to. So we're looking at working with Microsoft Azure. So we've worked with them in 2022 to virtualize an SEPC modem. And recently we've also worked on the analog to digital on the virtualization piece, and that's the path to standardization. And those standards will get us part of the seamless 5G standards within the telco system that will make it a lot easier for telcos to deploy satellite and make it a seamless environment for the end user to consume.
Oh, that's great. I mean, here at Tech Africa News, we've conducted a number of interviews with ST Engineering iDirect over the years. We know and understand that the company is very committed. It's great to hear your enthusiasm for it and how, like me, you and the company are really committed to sort of helping Africa and the unconnected in Africa become connected and bridging the digital divide. So thanks very much for that. It's been a pleasure talking to you, Craig. I'm Chris Green for Tech Africa News. Here at AfricaCom 2023, you can find more information and interviews on our website at techafricanews.com.